All right, we are set up for more Axis Empires Ultimate Edition Totaler Krieg, and we've got the Barbarossa scenario set up. This is a follow-on to the Case White scenario video that I put up a couple weeks ago. Thanks to everybody for the feedback on that video. Definitely a learning experience, learning the system, learning the rules, so I appreciate all the feedback. It really helped me sort out a couple things. And maybe I'll revisit that scenario and do an updated video with some corrections. But again, thanks for all the feedback. But as far as Barbarossa goes, yeah, much bigger scenario, as you would imagine. We've got the German invasion of the Soviet Union. The counters are all set up. We've got the front line here. We've got some Finns up to the north. We've got some additional rules in terms of turns. So I've got the turn tracker going. I think this is a 5-turn scenario. We're using the strategic warfare box. And we've got a whole bunch more counters down here. So I've got the Soviet force pool and the Axis force pool all set up. And of course, this is almost certainly, well, not even almost certainly, is certainly going to be a number of videos for me to get through this. I don't know how much detail I can get into and how much play I can actually show, but we'll see how it goes. But for this video, I want to get through the seasonal phase, which is a new aspect of the rules that I'm learning. So this scenario, from a learning perspective, has added the seasonal victory phase, the seasonal phase, and then I think some of the later phases, like it might be end of turn. I can't remember, but we'll play through and we'll figure it out. But for tonight, I mean, first of all, the seasonal victory phase is not going to be covered, or is not does not apply in the current state of the game. So we will start with the seasonal phase. And during seasonal turns, we conduct the optional card segment first. And so by scenario rules, I guess first off, we are in the Axis faction turn. The Soviet faction turn will come later. But by scenario rules, we're going to start off with this card for the Axis. This is Operation Barbarossa. There are a couple sections on here. There's a requirement section that we'll ignore, or that we do ignore for this scenario. We've got 3 blitz icons for blitz markers that we'll lay out later. But we really want to start here on this option card segment. And so the rules for the option card segment basically say you go through these bullets one at a time in order. But for this learning scenario, some of these bullets don't apply. So we don't need to worry about removing card 23B. There are no neutral minor countries in this scenario, so we can ignore that. Total war is now in effect, and I think I can update my marker on the map for that. And then really kind of the big first step here is this Axis pool. So I will add, looks like one headquarter, one Axis headquarters, one Axis armor unit, and then a handful of German units. So let me go ahead and plop those in here off screen. Let's just go to the force pool. I want to make sure I get the correct sides up for the number of steps that we have. And so that's the force pool. And then a handful of units go in the delay box. We've got a German Air Force unit and a subfleet unit. So let me plop those on the map. Let's go down here in the delay box. Not quite sure how the subfleet will factor into this scenario, but we will find out later, I imagine. So that was the option card segment. For this scenario, we ignore the logistics partisan segment. That's not part of this training scenario. And then the last part is the replacement segment. So down here on the card, we have a note about how many Germany replacements there are. It was like 6 armor units and 12 steps of infantry units. And I believe the basic rule is all those need to be placed in a city hex in the home country. And the home country in this case is Germany, which includes the seceded lands of Czechoslovakia, Austria, and the Polish corridor. And I think one thing I need to look at is there is a minor production +1 marker in the strategic warfare box down here. I need to remind myself if that's for the force pool or if that's for replacements. But let me take a look at replacements and set those up, and I'll come on back. All right, I've placed my replacements, or at least the replacements for the Germans, the Axis. A couple things that stood out to me. That marker in the strategic warfare box for the minor production, for the Axis minor production, that +1, that's taken as a replacement. So I took that as a Romanian replacement, which I put in this city. I guess I should say I have no concept of strategy right now, so I'm just trying to get the mechanics right. So I could have taken someone from Hungary, but I didn't. I took Romanian unit there, 1 step, and put it there. And then there were 6 steps of German armor units and 12 steps of German infantry units. And so ground units need to be placed in a city in the home country. So I've got 3 stacks of 3 infantry, 1, 2, 3, 4. So 4 times 3 is 12 steps. And 2 stacks of 3 armor steps. So 3, 6 steps. And again, those had to go in the home country. So Germany, Czechoslovakia, I guess Austria is down here, and the Polish corridor was seceded, or was ceded, I should say. And I think that's it. So I'm looking ahead to combining these units in the coming, some of the coming operation steps, or organizational segment, I should say. Yeah, let's stop here and get ready for the next segment. Let me know if I messed anything up. Thanks for watching.